And a pleasant good evening to you. Welcome inside Crestwood, Illinois at Ozinga Field, the host for the final game here in this three-game set between the Windy City Thunderbolts and the Evansville Otters. Saying good evening to you. I'm Matthew Will. Pleased that you're joining me here on the Otters Digital Network. And things did not go the Otters' way last night, especially in that third inning. For the third time in a week, the Otters gave up 7 or more runs in a singular inning. It was 7 runs in that third from Windy City that not only disabled the Otters for that game, but also had them having to chase in a certain way that every time it felt like they had positive momentum, you looked back at the scoreboard and realized, well, they're still down by 5, they're still down by 6. And it was hard for them to find any good footing to work through the game with. It was a tough night for Austin Gossman. He only made it 2 1/3 innings before he was pulled. He gave up 7 runs in that time. I am sure that while Gossman and the rest of this team are surely hoping for a different result tonight, things look a little bit different around the diamond for the Otters. Not too terrible, as of course Brian Rosario is going to stay in the leadoff spot. He'll move to DH tonight so that the standard outfield can return for the Otters. Baez, Gordon, McNamee left to right across the outfield. In the infield, it's a night off for George Khalil. So because of that, Armstrong is going to play short. Tanner Craig returns to third. J.R. Davis returns to second. And Zach Biermann will man first. Justin Felix getting his 3rd straight night behind the plate, especially with the neck injury he's kind of been battling in the last few weeks. It's good to see that he's at least confident enough to go 3 straight nights out there for the Otters. Ryan O'Reilly is going to get the nod for Evansville, a man that has kind of had an up and down year and is really searching for 1 or 2 starts that can really coast him into a good place as we head towards the playoff push. Want to officially go through the Otters starting 9 for you. Leading off is the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, Brian Rosario. He'll play DH. Batting second, the first baseman, Zach Biermann. Batting third is the second baseman, J.R. Davis. Batting fourth in the cleanup spot is the left fielder, Jeffrey Baez. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Elijah McNamee. Batting sixth, the center fielder, Miles Gordon, who is on an 18-game hitting streak. Then batting seventh, the third baseman, Tanner Craig. Batting eighth, the catcher, Justin Felix. And batting ninth is the shortstop, Andy Armstrong. We flip the page for Windy City and introduce you to their starting 9 for the 3rd straight night. The leadoff man is Jarius Richards. He'll play right field. Batting second is the third baseman, Jake Boone. Batting third, the left fielder, Dan Robinson. Batting fourth in the cleanup spot is once again the DH, Bryn Spillane. Batting fifth is the first baseman, Peyton Isaacson. Batting sixth, the center fielder, Peyton Robertson. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Bryn Martinez. Batting eighth is the new catcher, Johnny Neves. And batting ninth is the second baseman, Cole Kaler. Did want to kind of walk you through what things look like in the Frontier League as we approach tonight. We're starting to get to that point where I'm going to lean on it a little bit more than usual because obviously we are in that playoff push now, less than a month till the playoff starts. So, every game matters just a little bit more now. Washington has the chance to become the first team in the league to hit 50 wins tonight. They enter the night 49-25, 7.5 games clear of second place Evansville. 1 game behind Evansville is Schaumburg. An Evansville loss tonight and a Schaumburg win would result in Evansville being tied with Schaumburg in the second spot now, a spot that Evansville surely does not want to end up in. The bright side for Evansville, though, is that they are facing off a team like Windy City that they've had some success throughout the year against, officially 3-2 on the year. Gateway's not far behind, 13 games back of the lead, which adds up to 4.5 games out of a playoff spot. Juliet's tied with them. We will see that Juliet team this weekend. They are off tonight. Lake Erie is 1 game back of them, 14 back of the lead. Florence a little bit more than this Windy City team is getting a little too close to potentially being eliminated from playoff contention, somewhere that I'm sure they want to avoid. We'll walk through the East as we go through the game as well later tonight. They've introduced the starting lineup, so we're ready for the national anthem here from Ozinga Field. We'll take a break, and on the other side, we get going with a rubber match on a beautiful Thursday night for baseball here in Crestwood. Don't go anywhere. First pitch is next. Beautiful rendition of the national anthem, and we are ready for baseball here in Crestwood, Illinois. Again, welcome into the Otters Digital Network. I'm Matthew Will, joining you for another edition of Evansville Otters Baseball. Of course, we're not to the point yet where anything is a must-win game. Obviously, Otters still are in a playoff spot, still have a tiny bit of breathing room before they would be eliminated. But in my eyes, this has to be a must-win game for the Otters in their mind. This is a team that obviously you're above in the standings. It's a team that is struggling these last few weeks, so that makes this win ever more important. Really, if you avoid the big innings, that's when the Otters have had success in these last couple of weeks, ever since that Lake Erie series. The games that they gave up the big runs were the ones they struggled the most in. And that's obviously got to be the focus going into tonight. They're going to face Adam Wheaton on the mound, who is fresh out of college. Lamar University is where he played his college ball all the way up until this year. He was playing in Kalamazoo on the summer squad before he got the call to come join this ThunderBolts team. He's pitched in 2 games. He's got an 0-2 record and an ERA of 8.10. Obviously looking for something that can right the ship and get him ready to go as we continue. He'll face off against an Otters lineup that looks a little different from last night, but has a lot of that consistent bat pressure throughout the lineup. I do want to say that on the mound, of course, is Wheaton. Neves is behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Let them know that my good friend St. Clodfelter is the one who sent you his way. We are just about ready to kick things off here. Jonathan Neves is going to be the catcher for Windy City. He just rejoined the team earlier this week. And is looking to help jumpstart the lineup a little bit. He last played for Wabash Valley College. And this pitcher-catcher battery is ready to kick things off against Brian Rosario, who's the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game once again tonight for Evansville. The first pitch home is a called strike at 7:06 p.m. We have 72 degrees as the first pitch, not a cloud in the sky. Perfect night for baseball for the 3rd straight night here at Ozinga Field. An 0-1 on its way home to Rosario, and it's hit towards the right side. Kaler's going to bring it in at second base, and the throw to first is in time for out number 1. Quick work here to start off the game for Adam Wheaton. Doing a walk you through the defensive alignment for Windy City tonight. Robinson plays left, Robertson in center, Richards out in right. Across the infield, it's Jake Boone manning third, Martinez at short, Kaler at second, Isaacson at first base. Neves mans things behind the plate. So with nobody on and just one out, Zach Biermann makes his way to the plate. First pitch comes home, and it's high and outside for ball 1. Windy City is honoring their partnership with White Castle tonight, as Thursdays are always White Castle nights here. We'll continue that in a second as the 1-0 comes home. It's lifted out to the left side, but fouled. We've got an even count. Because of that, they've got Windy City jerseys, White Castle jerseys on. Windy City's written in white script across the chest in the White Castle font, and they've got a big slider burger there on the jerseys. Officially in-house tonight, they're called the Windy City Sliders. As the ball's put to the right side, through for the first base hit of the game. Zach Biermann just kind of pulled that one down the right field line, just shy of the first baseman. And the Otters have their first base runner of the game via the Biermann single. Now I'll continue to call them the T-Bowl to the ThunderBolts. If I say sliders, that's just so you know. That's how they're calling them in-house tonight, so if I happen to hear it, I might happen to say it. Just so you're aware, they're wearing their blue caps with the WC in thread letters and white ants all the way around for Windy City. First pitch home to J.R. Davis. Finds the zone almost right down the middle for a called strike. Evansville wearing those road gray jerseys with script Evansville written across the chest. Blue numbers on the back of them. Wind is blowing in just a tad from the left field area. An 0-1 on its way home for J.R. Davis, and it's put foul to the right side off towards the parking lot. The sun is really going to be bad here for the next few minutes out in right field, and there's a perfect little opening at first base. So the first baseman and the first base umpire struggling to see things because of the hole that a concourse or one of the openings from the concourse makes towards the field. Davis pushes one to the right side off towards the concession area. But it's out of play, and he's back in the count 0-2. Davis is leading this Otters team with 44 RBIs. It's been great to see him work with runners in scoring position, especially runners at third and less than 2 outs. Had lots of sacrifice flies. 0-2, right back up the middle. Diving play by Kaler. He won't make the play right away, but then he tosses over to second for the 1 out. Gets Biermann out, and Biermann is upset. I think he thought the ball dropped, and because of it, Andy McCauley's going to go have a talk. Biermann slid into second. It looked like he was going to be safe. Finally, the ball got over to second, but it looked like it might have dropped out of the glove of Martinez, and I think that's what Biermann was trying to say. McCauley went over and gave his thoughts as well. But at the end of the day, there's 2 outs and now a runner at first after the 4-6 fielder's choice took Biermann off the base paths. So a frustrating little bit there for the Otters, as they could have had 2 men on. But instead they're in the same situation they just were, but with 2 outs. So Jeffrey Baez strides in, the left fielder tonight, batting in the cleanup spot. First pitch to him, and a check swing results in strike 1 called. Very good crowd tonight. All 3 suites here are nice and full. There's a lot of people down in the lower concourse as well. Best attendance we've seen so far in these 3 nights. An 0-1 to Jeffrey Baez, and that's well outside. Evens up his count at 1-1. Rubber match tonight. Otters won game 1 by a handful. Then last night it was the T-Bolts that won by a handful. So tonight is for all the marbles. A throw over to first looks really good, but Davis is back in time. Evansville scored in that first game in the first inning, put 2 runs up right away, and they rode those 2 to victory. In fact, they ended up winning by a score of 7-1, so everything else they did really didn't end up mattering much. A 1-1 is swung on and missed by Baez. It broke towards the low outside corner. They got him to chase. So that drops Baez back in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Long wait for Wheaton up on the bump. Glances over towards first, and we're ready for the 1-2 with 2 outs and Davis standing on first. The 1-2 called strike 3 on the outside edge. Davis is running. I don't think he realized that it was a called strike, but it is the called strike that ends the half inning. We head to the bottom half of the first. Still scoreless here from Ozinga Field.
Getting ready and keeping fit for baseball season is hard work. That's why you'll find Evan at Be Fit by Bob's. Getting fit, healthy, and well. Be like Evan. Try a free 3-day pass at BeFit by Bob's.
We are ready for the bottom of the first here from Ozinga Field in Crestwood, Illinois. Otters got a couple different men on in that first inning, but couldn't do anything with them. Sort of a broken record, I feel like I sound like there. As we've heard that plenty of times in these last few weeks. Otters getting multiple men on, but not being able to do anything once they are on base. We flip the script to the bottom half of the first inning, where Ryan O'Reilly strides up to the mound for Evansville. O'Reilly entering the game 5-5 officially on the year, 4.70 ERA. He's got 73 strikeouts, just 35 walks. His last start was, of course, a no decision against Gateway, where he allowed 6 runs on 7 hits in 5 1/3 innings. That was because Evansville got themselves out of that big lead, and then he gave up the runs in that 6th inning. Evansville was able to finish the game off. George Cleel's 2-run home run ended up being the game winner. Ryan O'Reilly's on the mound. Justin Felix behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Final warm-up pitch has been tossed, and we are ready for the home half of this first inning. I'll walk you through the Windy City lineup once again. Jarius Richards bats first, playing right field. Jake Boone batting second, playing third base. Batting third is the left fielder Dan Robinson. Batting fourth, the designated hitter Brent Spillane. Batting fifth, the first baseman Peyton Isaacson. Batting sixth, the center fielder Peyton Robertson. Batting seventh is the shortstop Brent Martinez. Batting eighth, the catcher Johnny Neves. And batting ninth is the second baseman Cole Kaler. Jarius Richards batting .239 on the season, makes his way to the plate, and we're ready for the opening pitch of this home side of the game, and it's a called strike from Ryan O'Reilly. Caught the low outside corner with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Oh, 1. Stays low and evens the count up at 1 ball, 1 strike. One count for Jarius Richards, and it's thrown home by O'Reilly. Gets away from Felix just for a second, right next to his foot, as it was low for ball 2. Really good last night to get to see Kevin Davis hit the mounds and pitch so well in front of friends and family, as he's from this area. 2-1 home. O'Reilly gets a man to swing and miss. O'Reilly is another guy who is close to home. As O'Reilly from McKenna, Illinois, not far from here. The 2-2 comes home, and it is lifted high and foul to the left side. Will get out of play. McKenna is just another one of those suburbs around this area. Just a bit south to where we are now. A 2-2 home, and it's sent down the right field line. This one foul will end up bouncing off the camera well over there. And with it, count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Otters have been frustrated with the strike zone in these last couple of nights. Wonder how much that will play into tonight's game as well, as ball 3 falls low and inside. I wouldn't say that the strike zone's been all over the place, but there have been a few of those calls that you just kind of wonder about where it was seen from behind home plate as opposed to the view that the rest of us have. As of course, it does look just a little bit different for the man standing right there. And this is as good a time as any to walk you through who are the 3 out there. Chad Ozzie will man things behind the plate tonight. His first base umpire is Keith Rogowski. On the third base side is Elijah Bester. O'Reilly going to try again on the 3-2 to leadoff man Richards. Good pitch. Stays just a bit too far inside. And it is a hard drawn walk for Jarius Richards. Looked really good from O'Reilly on that inside edge. Felix held it there for a long time too. But instead it'll be the leadoff man on, nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. And it'll bring up Jake Boone, the third baseman, with nobody out and a runner on first. The first pitch home to Boone. Well inside. That's ball one. Good stop from Felix there. If you've missed the last couple of nights, I'll remind you that behind home plate here plays enormously. It's probably 70 feet back to the warning track, 60 or 70. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So if a ball gets back there, not only is it a long way back to go get it, but there's not a promise it's going to bounce back towards you. As there is a good gap between the bottom of the padding behind home plates and the ground, so the ball can get stuck there too and can end up hurting you a little bit. The 1-0, runner's going out towards second. The throw looks good, but it gets past J.R. Davis. Rolls out into center field, but luckily Gordon was striding in, so Richards will not advance any further. It was a good throw and was set to one bounce in to J.R. Davis, but it just bounced over the top of his glove, and now with nobody out, there's a runner in scoring position for Windy City. So 2 balls, no strikes. The count to Jake Boone. Ryan O'Reilly glances back towards second and fires home on the 2-0. It's sent right at Armstrong at short. He'll play it into the glove and throw over in time for out number 1 at first base. It's just one of those marvels right there. A lot of guys might have that ball go steam past them, but Andy Armstrong, one of the most consistent gloves in the infield, not just on this team, but in this league. Because of that, Otters are able to get a very important out number 1. And more importantly, the runner does not advance to third, which helps as well. Dan Robinson now at the plate, the left fielder, bats lefty. He's got 1 out and a runner on second in front of him. The first pitch home to Dan Robinson. Bounces in on the inside edge. Felix again able to keep it in front of him. But the count goes to 1-0. I'm sure if there's one thing that the Otters are thankful for, it's been Justin Felix's incredible work behind home plate for the last few weeks to really do his part of keeping balls in front of him. 1-0 the count to Robinson. It's lifted high, foul, but it's going to get out of play to the third base side. One ball, one strike for Robinson. And finally the pitch comes home well outside for ball 2. Two balls, one strike to Dan Robinson. And O'Reilly glancing down the man at second. Finally, the 2-1 comes home. It's grounded towards Armstrong at short. He'll play it in the glove. The throw over to first will get the man there, but Windy City's able to advance their runner to third on the 6-3 fielder's choice. So that's going to bring the cleanup man, Bryn Spillane, to the plate. I mean, if you're a cleanup man, this is the situation you always hope for in the first inning. Of course, probably not 2 outs, but man on third. This is your job as a cleanup man. Bring the runners in to get the game started off with, and boy, would this be a great way for Windy City to start their game, grabbing themselves an early run. Ryan O'Reilly ready on the bump, and the first pitch home to Bryn Spillane is grounded right at Armstrong. He'll play it into the chest. The throw to first is in time. 3 straight groundouts to Armstrong at short in the half inning, and Evansville will not allow a run in the first. We've played through one, still scoreless from Ozinga Field in Crestwood. I tell you what, I wish you were able to join us here in Crestwood these 3 nights. The temperature has been in the 70s all 3 nights. There hasn't been a cloud in the sky while we've been here. Perfect weather for baseball, perfect weather for the Otters to try to get themselves a series win here on the road. They'll try to get their first run of the game here in the second inning as they work towards the middle of the order. 5, 6, 7 to up. Elijah McNamee, Miles Gordon, and Tanner Craig. As it is the second inning, do want to walk through the standings again as we work through this inning. Washington leading the way, 49-25 here in the West Division. Could be the first team in the league with 50 wins at the end of the night. Evansville 7.5 games back. Schaumburg 1 game back of second now. Elijah McNamee, first pitch, grounds it down the third base line, but just a hair foul. It'll be played by Boone at third, but already in foul territory. And McNamee will work his way back towards home. Gateway and Joliet sit both at 4.5 games back of a playoff spot. So 4.5 back of Schaumburg right now. Keep an eye there. 0-1 lifted out towards right center field, but it hooks towards the right fielder Richards, who will be able to make a very easy out number 1. Looks good off the bat of McNamee, but it curved a little too much. And it's 1 up, 1 down here in the second for Evansville. Over on the east side, Quebec is out to a 47-27 record right now. They've had a rough last 2.5 weeks, I'd say, as Ottawa is now just 3 games back of a playoff spot over there. 3 games back of the lead. Sussex County's 5 back of the lead, 2 back of second place, but it's just a game and a half separating Sussex County and New York/Tri-City, who are both on the heels of a potential playoff spot. I think the West is going to figure itself out a little bit sooner than the East. The East, they could be battling for playoff spots in closing weekend, and that would be a ton of fun to end the year. Miles Gordon's at the plate now, takes ball 1 and ball 2 on the outside edge. Gordon has an 18-game hitting streak intact right now, trying to keep it alive tonight. He's also batting .281 on the season. The 2-0, home to Gordon. He rushes this one out towards center. Robertson's having to chase back. Now he's backpedaling in the sun, and he makes a really nice catch as he approaches the warning track. That is out number 2. 2 really well-hit balls for the Otters, but unfortunately right at the men out there who are designed to catch them. A little magic number update for you. Washington's magic number at 15. Evansville's at 22. The magic number is how many wins you need or losses you need from the third place team, which right now is Schaumburg. So that's just a little update from where Evansville is. Washington, of course, the closest one to clinching a playoff spot as of right now. Former University of Evansville standout Tanner Craig at the plate now, takes a called strike. Craig struggled last night, had a couple of strikeouts, but he did have a hard hit double towards center field, got him his first professional RBI. Cranks a ball towards left field. Robinson going back at the wall, gone! Tanner Craig has his first professional home run. Tell you what, the night after he gets his first pro RBI, he crushes a ball to left field. Just like that, Evansville has the lead. Well, I know if you're an avid University of Evansville supporter, you'd tell me to expect a lot more of that because that's the kind of guy he was at UE. He is continuing it here, and the entire dugout had disappeared back into the clubhouse and then came running out for Tanner Craig. Good to see him celebrate the rookie there. Evansville leads now 1-0 here in the second inning. And that will bring Justin Felix to the plate. Love to see the Otters go back-to-back here. First pitch to the catcher, Felix. High, ball one, just above the elbows. Felix batting .229 on the year. It's been a struggle for Felix. He's had really good at-bats in scenarios like this. 2 outs, nobody on. But then when there's multiple men on base and maybe 1 out, those are the times he's struggled a little bit more. He takes a hit by pitch here. Will get himself over on base. He's actually in a little bit of pain as that one comes in. Got him on the inside of that left side of him, kind of towards the rib area. He walked a couple of steps, then immediately went down to his knees. Mandy Flagg and Andy McCauley both coming out to make sure he's all right. Felix has been battling a shoulder/neck injury these last few weeks. We've seen it bother him quite a few times when he's catching behind home plate. This one doesn't quite look like it, but he is grabbing towards that left arm somewhere, it looks like. And again, like we've seen many times with him, they're testing that grip strength with that left hand. Still talking with him down there right next to home plate. The athletic trainer, Mandy Flagg, and the manager, Andy McCauley. I see Felix at least nodding his head, and Andy McCauley will run back to the third base coaching box, and looks like Justin Felix is going to be good to go. Just a little bit rattled there. So he will make the jog down to first, and the Otters have a man on base now with 2 outs. Knew it got a little scary when you saw Justin Felix on the starting 9 today, his 3rd straight start. Been a while since we've seen an Evansville catcher play 3 consecutive nights, especially with the injuries Felix is battling. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even still in this game we saw John Anthon or Brody Tanksley appear at some point. First pitch to Andy Armstrong. He showed bunt, and it ended up well outside for ball 1. I think I talked about it with Bill McEwen on the broadcast last weekend. Honestly, at this point in the season, you'd give up 6 or 7 innings with your top catcher, Felix, if it meant you got him for the rest of the year. You don't want to risk playing him the rest of this game if it potentially led to an injury that could have him out for any part of the season as we go down the line, as the Otters are still without Dakota Phillips, who was their other primary catcher at the beginning of the year. The 1-0 to Armstrong. That one does catch the zone on the low inside corner. Evens things up at 1 ball, 1 strike. I do know that both John Anthon and Brody Tanksley are good to go if they would to be needed tonight. Tanksley, of course, activated on Monday from the injured list. Tuesday from the injured list. A 1-1 to Andy Armstrong. He pushes it down the right field line, but it's going to end up fouling in the concourse. So everyone will take a second as we reset. Otters do have the lead, though, after Tanner Craig cranked his first professional home run over the left field wall. Hope someone ran out there. Go grab it for the kid. 1-2 for Armstrong. Swinging strike three, way ahead of that one. Evansville will sit down with a strikeout, but not before Tanner Craig gives the Otters a lead with a home run to left. We've played 1.5. It's Evansville 1, Windy City 0. Bottom of the second inning, Evansville has a 1-0 lead thanks to the rookie Tanner Craig unloading on one to left field for his first professional home run. Another congratulations to him. I am sure he is just getting started with his professional career. As we head to the bottom half of the second, I want to remind you that Evansville Otters Baseball and the Otters Digital Network is presented by Working Distributors Evansville. First pitch home to Peyton Isaacson is fouled right back into the netting for strike one. He's frustrated with that one. It was a good pitch from O'Reilly. A good offering to Isaacson for him to really unload on one, but got a little too far underneath it. Just fouls it back into the netting behind home. The 0-1 to Isaacson. Now he puts one in fair territory, but it's going to work its way foul down the third base side and end up in the upper deck concourse. So it's quickly an 0-2 count now for the first baseman, Isaacson. No balls, 2 strikes for Peyton Isaacson. The first baseman trying to get this second inning off to a good start. Puts one on the ground to the left side. Craig will play it backhanded. Long throw across to first. What a play from Tanner Craig. Gets it there in time. Had to backhand it down the third base line in the hot corner. Got an accurate and hard throw across the diamond for out number 1. So a good way the Otters to start this second inning. Get themselves a run in the top half, and then Craig with a nice defensive play to start off the bottom half. Peyton Robertson at the plate now. The center fielder enters the game with a .237 average. First pitch home to him. Taken for a called strike right along the inside edge. I'll probably continue to say it because every time I look down, it looks more and more full. Beautiful crowd on hand here at Ozinga Field tonight. The 0-1 to Robertson is fouled back in towards Felix. And he's a bit shaken up after that one, but he's able to just pop up and walk around. Felix already 2 different times he's gotten a ball somewhere he doesn't love. One time to the inside of the either ribs or left elbow, and now this one zooms in and grabs him on the side of the right foot. But he's good to go and ready for the 0-2 to Peyton Robertson. Base is empty, 1 out here in the bottom half of the second. O'Reilly kicks and delivers on the 0-2. Outside for ball 1. It was a good pitch, but it just kept working outside, outside, outside. So O'Reilly will try again now on the 1-2 strike count. That one works a bit too far inside now, and our count's filled up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Breeze is coming in pretty much right in from right center field, shifting a little bit back and forth. A 2-2, it works in and gets the hands of Robertson. He started swinging and it grabbed him in, I believe, his right hand. He started to swing, and as he swung through, that's when the ball caught him in either the hand or the wrist. And immediately, both his manager and trainer come out to take a look at things. So they are checking things out for him right now. Andy McCauley is making his way out of the dugout. I wonder if he's questioning if this was a foul ball off a piece of the bat as well, or if it was just off of the body. McCauley comes out, and now he's talking with home plate umpire Chad Ozzie about the play. Looks like they're awarding it a hit by pitch. It definitely looked like it caught him in the hand, but it's worth asking the question if it grabbed the bat as well. But a 1-out hit by pitch has a runner on for Windy City as Bryn Martinez makes his way to the plate. First pitch home to Bryn Martinez. And O'Reilly throws over. He got the man. And there's some good applause from the Ryan O'Reilly faithful down there behind the Otters dugout. Beautiful play there. Jumped back, turned towards first, and as he made the throw around, Robertson took a little hop towards second, and he was gone from there. Could not get back in time. It's a pickoff for Ryan O'Reilly. Beautiful play there from the local guy. And right like that, takes away the man on base. So there's a now empty ball field with 2 outs. Pitch comes home. Low and inside, 2-0 the count. Evansville continues the road trip tomorrow night, just a few miles away from here at Joliet. Play there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Ball sent out towards right field. Long run for McNamee. He's going to let it bounce in front of him and just play it off the chest so that it doesn't work its way back towards the wall. It's a 2-out base hit for Bryn Martinez. Tomorrow's first pitch is 6:35 over there at Joliet against the Slammers. Then it's a 6:05 first pitch on Saturday before the 3-game set concludes on Sunday. Sunday they'll play a matinee game starting at 1:05. Pitch home to Neves. This is for ball 1 on the outside edge. There's a runner on first, 2 outs. Jonathan Neves making his professional debut tonight. This is actually his very first at-bat as a professional ball player. So, of course, a congratulations out to him. Hope you have a great career, and it's awesome that you get to start here in the Frontier League. 1-0 home. The runner's going. The throw out to second looks good, but it's a little bit too high. It just kept rising and rising. It had the right angle, but a little too much power from Felix and it's a stolen base for Bryn Martinez. And after this 3-game set this weekend, the Otters are back at home next Tuesday night to face this Windy City team. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night set there at Bosse Field. Want to get your tickets? You can get them at EvansvilleOtters.com or stop by the box office anytime this week. Ball zoomed down the right field line, but it's going to end up in the Otters bullpen, and it's a 1-2 count. One ball, 2 strikes for Jonathan Neves. With 2 outs and a runner at second, O'Reilly needs to get himself out of this inning, keep the lead. 1-2, just misses on the high outside corner. Looked good from O'Reilly, not good enough, unfortunately. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second. O'Reilly glances towards second and fires home in the 2-2. Further outside this time, that's ball 3. Breeze is starting to die down a little bit here at Ozinga Field. Temperatures dropped under 70. We're at 69 now. It's expected to drop to the mid to low 60s by the end of the game. A 3-2 to Jonathan Neves. But instead, O'Reilly will step off and fake towards second, and we'll have to reset. 2 outs, full count for the catcher making his pro debut tonight. The full count. Zoomed out towards right. McNamee will chase back towards the wall. It falls. There goes Neves around first, and it's an RBI double in his very first professional at-bat. Just like that, the game is tied. Otters had themselves an early lead in this one and have now watched it disappear with a hard hit double into right field by Johnny Neves. Cole Kaler, the second baseman, now making his way to the plate. 2 outs, runner at second. Kaler officially batting .045 on the season. First pitch home. Taken for a called strike on the inside edge. So resetting is O'Reilly. Prior to the 0-1, taking a little extra time to look in towards his catcher, Felix. Ball gets back behind Felix, and because of it, the runner advances to third, and count goes to 1-1. One and one the count for Cole Kaler. He's now just got a runner 90 feet away from scoring what would be the go-ahead run for the T-Bolts. O'Reilly gets set and fires home on the 1-1. It's cranked out towards right field again. McNamee chasing back. This time he's able to get there in time and bring it in for out number 3, but not before the rookie making his pro debut, Johnny Neves. It's a RBI double to right field, giving Windy City their first run of the game and tying this one run apiece. We've played 2, each squad with a run. Top of the third, and Evansville has their one-run lead. It's taken right back after a hard hit double to right field from Johnny Neves. Because of it, it's our game back even. That Ryan O'Reilly pickoff play ends up being a lot more important now. Edward Jones, leadoff hitter of the game. Brian Rosario back at the plate. Shows bunt his first time up. Pulls away for ball one, however. It'll be Rosario, Biermann, and Davis due up here in the half inning. The 1-0 on the way home, and it's hit to the right side. Kaler will play it at second base on 3 hops, and the toss over to first is in plenty of time to grab Rosario. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs to second base now. So the hard-hitting first baseman, Zach Biermann, makes his way to the plate now. Biermann batting .298 on the season. Last couple nights saw his average dip back under 300. First pitch to him here, stays on the outside edge for ball one. Another pitch on the outside edge. Biermann easy lay off there. And he takes a 2-0 lead in the count. The 2-0. That one's right across the heart of the plate. I think Biermann knew it right as it went past. He kind of shook his head a little bit. The 2-1 for Biermann. He pushes the ball out towards right center field. A lot of height underneath it. Running in is Robertson out of center, and he'll be the one to make the catch for out number 2. Ball just hung up there way too long for Biermann to capitalize from it. So now call on J.R. Davis to head to the plate. Davis reached on a fielder's choice his last time up, but was stranded there on Baez's strikeout. First pitch home to Davis. Stays a bit too far outside for ball one. Are going to start working through the Frontier League scoreboard here in the next couple of opportunities we have as another pitch stays low. This one ball 2. New York out to an 11-4 advantage at Ottawa right now. A New York win would certainly help shake some things up over there in the East. Another ball, this one on the inside. Takes the count to 3-0. Top of the 8th, and Washington's up 12-1 at Florence. Right now, I don't know if anyone can stop the Washington Wild Things. They are on an incredible stretch of baseball. I think that the Frontier League Championship is going to have to go through Washington, Pennsylvania. Of course, lots of time still left to play. The 3-0 on its way, and it's swung on, missed for strike one. Schaumburg and Joliet had their whole series pushed up a day as they played Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so those two teams are off tonight. 3-1. Stays outside, ball 4, and the Otters are going to get a 2-out base runner in the form of J.R. Davis. So it'll be the second time that Davis will make his way to first with 2 outs. Brings up Jeffrey Baez with 2 outs and a man on. He struck out his last time up. It was this exact same scenario. 2 outs. Runner on first was Davis. First pitch is ball one for the left fielder Baez. Long wait before the 1-0 pitch. Now it's on its way to Baez. He lets it go by for ball two on the outside. Worked way out there. The 2-0. Push to the left side at the hot corner, but just a bit foul. Great stop by Boone, by the way. He went diving and kept the ball in front of him, but it had already bounced foul prior. Elsewhere around the Frontier League, Trois-Rivières out to a 2-1 advantage at Sussex County. They're in the bottom of the 7th right now. And in the bottom of the 5th, Empire State down 7-1 at New Jersey. Jackals going for the sweep tonight. 2 balls, 1 strike for Jeffrey Baez. And throwing over to first is Wheaton. Close play, but Davis is back in time. North of the border in Quebec, the Capitals are up 6-2 against Tri-City. They're in the top of the 7th right now. And the final other game taking place is just outside St. Louis in Sauget, Illinois. 2-0, the score in favor of Lake Erie over the Grizzlies of Gateway in the top of the 4th inning. A 2-1 to Jeffrey Baez, well outside, and he's ahead of the count now 3-1. Two out, 1 on, and a 3-1 count to Jeffrey Baez. Pushes a ball out towards shallow center field. Robertson will hustle in to make the catch. And by the time he gets there, he had plenty of time for out number 3. Otters are going to strand a man for the 3rd straight inning. We're still tied at 1 run apiece here on the Otters Digital Network, your home for Evansville Otters baseball on the road and at home. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Pleased you're joining us here on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. I'm Matthew Will, joining you for another edition of Evansville Otters baseball. And Evansville got themselves out to a lead as Tanner Craig hit his first professional home run back in the 2nd. But the Windy City ThunderBolts, or the Windy City Sliders as they're going by tonight, were able to get a RBI double from their rookie making his pro debut tonight to tie the game at 1 run apiece. First pitch strike to the leadoff man, Jarius Richards, will get us started here in the 3rd. It'll be Richards, Boone, and Robinson due up for this Windy City squad. Breeze is continuing to blow in from left field. Pitch at the elbows is good for a called strike 2. And that's one of the first times tonight, at least, that we've seen a pitch right on the edges get called. The umpiring crew this weekend has been good. They've been fairly consistent, but they've also really made you work hard on the edges and corners. No balls, 2 strikes to Richards. And it works well inside and bounces off his knee. So he will reach on the hit by pitch. He has reached twice today, and either is an official at bat, once on a walk, once on hit by pitch. And of course, it hit off of him and then hit off of Felix. So Felix is taking a second to regroup behind home plate. He's ready to go now. One man on, nobody out. Jake Boone at the plate now. First pitch home towards him, and instead O'Reilly's going to option to throw over to first. He's already got 1 pickoff tonight. Again, a throw over to first. Jake Boone, the third baseman, batting .277 on the year. He grounded out back in the first inning towards Armstrong. First pitch home. It's a called strike on the inside edge. And I'll tell you what, Jarius Richards once set his second stolen base of the game as he's really bouncing around over there at first, making O'Reilly keep thinking about it. Breeze starting to pick up once again. Out of left field in towards home. The 0-1 to Jake Boone. And again, O'Reilly's going to go check over on the runner at first. This Windy City team, the best stolen base team in the league, as every single one of their guys can do it to you. The 0-1 to Boone. There goes the runner. Ball is zoomed down the third base line and foul. Keeps the count at 0-2. Oh, balls. 2 strikes for Jake Boone. As the pitch comes home. Swinging strike 3. Boone was behind it. And it's the first German-American bank strikeout of the game for Ryan O'Reilly. Comes at a great time, too. 1 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Otters trying to keep this game where it's at, even at 1 run apiece. First pitch to Dan Robinson is on the way. Called strike 1 on the outside edge. Felix did a little bit to help frame it as well. A throw over to first yet again. But Richards is back in plenty of time. The 0-1 for Dan Robinson. Stays high and outside, evens our count up at 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 1 counts for the left fielder Robinson. Gets way inside, gets past Felix, and Richards is going to be able to advance to second on the wild pitch. The 2-1 for Dan Robinson. There goes the runner towards third. They're going to let him steal. And that's a really big base to give up because now a sac fly could score the man. And it's a second stolen base of the day for Jarius Richards, by the way, as well. Two balls, two strikes for Robinson. O'Reilly really needs to get an out that does not allow the man to get home. The 2-2. Well inside. O'Reilly slips and falls on the mound. Felix just barely keeps the ball in front of him. I'm sure both of them want to take a second to kind of regroup. Otters just need to get an out here. Strikeout would be great for him. A 3-2. Swinging strike three, exactly what Ryan O'Reilly needed. He's got back-to-back German American Bank strikeouts. And with 2 outs and a man at third, Brent Spillane comes to the plate. He had an opportunity like this, just like this actually, in the first inning. Richards at third, 2 outs, but he grounded out to Andy Armstrong. First pitch home, pushed to the right side, well foul. It'll end up way out of the ballpark, out in the right field area. The 0-1 for Brent Spillane, runner at third, 2 outs. O'Reilly kicks and delivers on the 0-1. Stays just a little bit low and also to the outside edge. So the count evens up at 1-1. Steven Sensley down in the dugout with the bat, swinging a little, or doing a couple little practice swings just to keep the body loose in case he's needed in this game. This is just a routine day off for him. 1-1 for Spillane. Zoom down the left field line. Gone if it's fair. And is it? It is. A 2-run home run. And Windy City has taken the lead. Looked really good off the bat. It was just a question on if it was going to stay fair or not. But a 2-run home run has given Windy City a 3-1 lead. Ryan O'Reilly had done well to try to paint around the edges of this strike zone. Finally, when he needed a strike, he had to put one a little close for comfort. Because of it, he is unable to keep it in the ballpark, and just like that, Windy City has taken their first lead of the contest. First pitch home is on the outside edge for a called strike 1 on Peyton Isaacson. Now the home run replay on the video board just now finished. I wonder if there are batters who are upset with the fact that there's still moving images out there as they are at the plate, because it happens quite often here. I imagine that maybe the guys that are playing here all the time get used to it, but I've also heard of lots of players who, especially the righties, if the billboard's out in right field like here, that get upset because there's moving images back there and it distracts from the ball. But of course, I'm not quite sure. 0-2's outside for ball one. Just kind of makes you think about who prefers what, I guess. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Peyton Isaacson. Delivered home from O'Reilly, and it's sent on the ground towards Davis at second. He'll play it on 3 hops. The throw to first is in time for out number 3, but not before a 2-run home run for Bryn Spillane gives Windy City a 3-1 advantage. We head to the 4th. Windy City now on top. Well, Evansville's going to have to play this game from behind for a little bit after a 2-run home run from Bryn Spillane has given Windy City their first lead of this game. It was a booming home run to left. It was no doubt off the bat. The only question was it was going to stay fair or not, and it did end up staying fair for a 2-run home run. So the bright side for Evansville is that they are working towards a part of their lineup that has already had success tonight. Elijah McNamee, Miles Gordon, and Tanner Craig. First pitch home is a called strike on Elijah McNamee. McNamee ready to go at the plate. And his 0-1, he's way out in front of it for a swinging strike 2. Just a small foul off there for McNamee. Keeps himself alive in the count as it went back in towards the netting behind home. The 0-2 stays a bit high, and McNamee sees his first ball join the count. 1-2 now. The 1-2. McNamee just about gets hit by that one in the elbow. Able to raise his arms just in time for his count to even up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 2-2 sent foul again off to the right side this time. So the count will remain at 2 balls, 2 strikes for the right fielder, Elijah McNamee. Ball home, swung on and missed. It's a strikeout for McNamee, and he's 0-2 on the day. 3rd strikeout of the game for Adam Wheaton. Only the 5th combined strikeout in this game. As both pitchers have had a lot of stuff put in play. First pitch home to Miles Gordon, taken for a called strike. Right across the heart of the plate, just under the belt there. Otters still in a position to compete in this game. We saw them get a lot of runs these last 2 nights in the middle innings. As long as they can keep the game close, trust that offense to wear on a pitcher. Maybe they can grab a couple off Adam Wheaton. The 0-1. And Gordon gets a called strike on him on the outside edge. His count falls to 0-2. Gordon shook his head a little bit, as did Andy McCauley, on that called strike on the low outside corner. So it sets up an 0-2. Push to the right side, down the right field line. Miles Gordon has himself a base hit. He's rounding towards second, and he's in there with a stand-up double. The hit streak has hit 19 games for Miles Gordon. He just dragged that one down the right field line, and it just hugged it all the way down. Finally, the right fielder Richards made a play, but it was in the bullpen for Evansville down there. The ball was finally picked up and thrown in, and a 1-out double has set up Tanner Craig's next at-bat. He's already 1 for 1 with his home run back in the last inning. Runner on second, 1 out. Craig ready for his first pitch home. Wheaton kicks and delivers. And in front of it was Craig for a swinging strike 1. Good crowd here on hand tonight. Nice to see this place filled up. 0-1 to Craig. 1 out, 1 on. And a good hefty swing, but he was just over the top of that pitch. And he's back in the count 0-2. And a pitch does stay a little bit away for ball 1. Runner on second is Miles Gordon. He had his 1-out double that extended his hit streak to 19 games. He's got Tanner Craig at the plate. The 1-2 for Craig. Swinging strike 3. Pitch was high and just a little bit outside. Craig will sit down with a strikeout, the 4th of the day for Wheaton. So with 2 outs and the runner out at second, Justin Felix heads to the plate. This is an opportunity that I'd love to see Justin break out of the slump he's had in these scenarios. You've got a runner in scoring position. He's got power. If he lays something down in one of the alleyways, Gordon's got the speed that he'll be obviously off on contact. Otters could grab themselves a run if Felix can put something in a good positioning here. First pitch home. Outside, gets away from the catcher Neves, and with it, Gordon's going to advance to third, making the job just a little bit easier for Justin Felix. That helps things just a little bit, as now it doesn't necessarily need to be in an alleyway of any sorts. It could be right at an outfielder or even an error or something. And now a pass ball again. I mean, there's a lot of things that can score a run and bring the Otters to within 1. Wheaton nods up on the mound, glances over towards third, and kicks and delivers. And it's in the opposite batter's box, a good stop for Neves. This is where we see Neves really have to work hard. He's in his first professional ball game behind the plate. Right now, a pass ball or a wild pitch that gets past him means a run scores. So this is a tough situation for him to really prove that this is a scenario he's capable of. I guess that sounds wrong. He is capable of it, obviously, but this is an opportunity to prove that he can live up to a moment like this, I guess is a better way to say it. The game's not on the line yet, but a run here could mean a ton going throughout the stretch of the game. So this one matters for the rookie to have to kind of think about there at the plate. 2-1 count to Justin Felix. 2 outs and a runner at third. The 2-1 to Felix. A half swing. Yes, he did go around, so his count evens up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two towards Felix. Pitch on the way, and it's a called strike 3. Felix thought it was a bit too high, but it ends the inning. The Otters strand a man at third here at the top of the 4th. We head to the home half of the 4th. Evansville still trailing by 2.
Cheer up, Evan. This rain will be out soon. You should download the 14 First Alert app and see for yourself. You can see what's coming up to 7 days in advance, or you can break it down hour by hour. Check out live radar so you can see what's happening in real time. And you can watch 14 News live directly from the app. See, there's nothing to worry about.
Stay in the game with the 14 First Alert app.
And as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, Evansville stranded a couple of men on base tonight in scenarios that they really could have made impacts in the game. So a little frustrating right now. And I know I said that plenty of times last night. That was the theme of last night, was just frustrating for Evansville. And now they're hoping that tonight does not prove the same way. They're down 3-1 on the scoreboard as we head to the bottom of the 4th. And the men coming up for Windy City will be the 6, 7, 8 hitters of Peyton Robertson, Bryn Martinez, and Johnny Neves. Want to take a look through the Frontier League, see how things are shaping up. Florence grabbed 3 eighth-inning runs, but they still trail 12-4 as they head to the bottom of the 9th against the Washington Wild Things. And really already 1 out on the board, so Washington is 2 outs away from becoming the first team in the Frontier League to 50 wins. We have a tie game 2-2 at Sussex County, with the Miners and Trois-Rivières Igos tied at 2 runs apiece. And New Jersey has expanded their lead to 8-1 over the Empire State Grays. They're in the 7th right now. Bottom of the 9th, Ottawa trails New York 11-4. Ottawa has to find a bunch of runs in a hurry if they want to keep themselves alive in that one, obviously. First pitch home to Peyton Robertson. Misses on the outside edge for ball 1. Another one to keep an eye on, Quebec and Tri-City. Quebec leading 6-5 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Close game there up north of the border. 1-0 to Robertson. Called strike. That one right across the heart of the plate. Lake Erie's expanded their lead at Gateway to 3-0. They're in the bottom of the 5th. As of right now, it looks like our game will be the final one to finish up this evening. The 1-1. Works a bit too far inside, and it's good for ball 2. The 2-1 headed home. And it's well outside and low, and it's a 3-1 count now. Nobody warming up in either bullpen right now as we sit in the bottom of the 4th inning. And a 3-1 headed home to Robertson. Bounces in for ball 4, and it's a leadoff walk for Robertson. The leadoff man has now gotten on in 3 of the 4 innings for Windy City tonight. And the one they didn't was because Tanner Craig made a wonderful play in the hot corner. First pitch to Bryn Martinez, well outside. Good stop from Felix to keep it in front of him. And as Felix makes his way out to have a quick chat with O'Reilly, Biermann's going to run in as well. Obviously, with the runner at first, they want to make sure that they're all on the same page. Nobody out, runner on first right now. We're ready to go now on the 1-0 count to Bryn Martinez. O'Reilly sends it home, and it's fouled off back towards the netting behind home, evening the count at 1-1. That's a competitive pitch and an important one there for O'Reilly to get. Needed the strike. Good to have everyone here tonight on the Otters Digital Network. A lot of ways you can spend your evening, so we're very honored that you decided to spend it with the Evansville Otters. Otters need a couple extra cheers tonight. Down by 2. O'Reilly's been put in a lot of tough positions tonight. Throw over to first is not in time to get Peyton Robertson as he slides back in time. Bryn Martinez is batting .269 on the year. He's been incredibly consistent. Again, O'Reilly's going to fire over, and it's just a really good dive back from Peyton Robertson because he was way off of first, but he's able to get back in time, obviously. 1 ball, 1 strike for the shortstop, Bryn Martinez. There's a runner on first and nobody out. Pitch comes home high and outside, taking the count to 2-1. Well, the Otters don't play here again this year, but next year, try to make a trip up here to the Windy City and find a game between the Otters and Thunderbolts and Schaumburg if you can, as both these stadiums are absolutely gorgeous. 2-1 to Martinez. Sent down the first base line, but foul. My goodness, that would have been a huge hit for Windy City. This one is not as flashy as a lot of the stadiums, meaning it's not built like a big professional stadium like some of the other ones we see in this league. But the way it's built is so unique. Wide open on the right side with a big party deck out there. On the left side, maybe 5 or 6 rows, and then an upper deck right above it. I mean, it's built upwards instead of outwards. So when you're on the field, it feels like that third base side is just right on top of you. A 2-2 to Bryn Martinez, and O'Reilly's going to fire over to first again, and it almost gets past Biermann. Plus, on this first base side, there's like a little area where people can just stand and watch, kind of like a beer garden style, and there's a ton of people over there tonight. The 2-2 to Bryn Martinez. There goes the runner towards second. It's outside for ball 3. The throw out looks good, but it's just a tad bit late. Man. I feel for Justin Felix because he's had so many good throws out to second in this series. There are just some fast base runners for Windy City, and even more so, some very good base runners in the fact that they can hop off of first quick and get a great jump. I mean, by the time Felix has thrown some of these balls, they're within 8 or 10 paces of second already. The 3-2 to Martinez. It's pushed to the left side at Craig. He makes a wonderful dig to bring it out of the dirt and throws over to first for out number 1. My goodness. Craig made that look really effortless, but it probably saved a run there. So right now the one big offensive play for Evansville, which was the home run, and both of the big defensive plays for Evansville have all been Tanner Craig in this game. Jonathan Neves makes his way to the plate. The rookie is playing in his first ever professional game, and in his first at-bat a couple innings ago, had an RBI double. So he got the first hit, the first RBI of his professional career, all at the same time in his first at-bat. Otters are hoping for a different result in this at-bat. 1 out, runner on second. Now Riley's going to step off to keep the runner close. First pitch home. A little bit high and outside for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Time is taken as we reset. O'Reilly's ready to go. 1 out, 1 on. And the 1-0 pitch to Jonathan Neves. Zoomed out towards right field. McNamee will chase back a few paces back towards the warning track, and he'll bring it in for out number 2. The runner's going to advance with ease on the fly ball. Got away from Davis for a second, but not far enough, as Robertson will be forced to stay at third on the fly out for Neves. So a productive at-bat there for the rookie. Cole Kaler, the second baseman, making his way to the plate. Runner on third and 2 outs. Big opportunity for the second baseman. No balls, 1 strike for Kaler. It finds the outside edge for a called strike. Kaler's down 0-2 in the count. Boy, would it help O'Reilly to get himself out of this scenario. Another chance for runs to score for Windy City. Oh, 2 count to the second baseman, Cole Kaler. There's a runner on third and 2 outs. The 0-2 misses high and away. Seems a lot of the pitches that O'Reilly's missed on have been high and away from these lefties. The 1-2 pushed foul to the left side will go way off towards the parking lot on the third base side. Might make it to the second or third row back there even. That was a hard hit baseball, but in the wrong direction. 1-2 to Cole Kaler. 2 outs, runner at third. Big opportunity for the Windy City Thunderbolts to extend their lead. 1-2, pushed foul again towards that third base side. O'Reilly just trying to grab himself the final out of the inning without giving up another run. Two outs, runner at third, 1-2 the count to Cole Kaler. The pitch home from O'Reilly. Inside, ball 2. And with it, Zane, the deuces are wild. Two balls, 2 strikes for Kaler. We'll try it again now. Pushed foul again to the left side. It ends up going off the concourse up there on that second level on the left side. Otters entered the game 41-32. Windy City 27-45. The 2-2 from O'Reilly. Put to the right side, played by Biermann. He'll go and touch first himself. That's out number 3, and yet again, Otters are able to get out of a tough situation. We've played 4 complete innings. It's Windy City 3, Evansville 1 on the Otters Digital Network, your home for Evansville Otters baseball every game of the season.
Welcome to a place that feels like home. A place that cares about all of you. Built to help you grow in more ways than you could possibly imagine. To make new friends, travel new paths, soar to new heights, and deepen your spiritual experience. Welcome to Oakland City University.
Listen up, Evansville Otter fans. Right now, about 100,000 people nationwide are waiting for a life-saving transplant. That's enough people to fill Bosse Field 19 times. And by the time this game ends, 15 people will be added to the national transplant waiting list. Did you also know that if your favorite player injures his ACL, a tissue transplant could provide a complete recovery and put him back in the game? Join the team, be a hero, save a life. Sign up to be an organ donor at donatelifeindiana.org.
We've played 4 complete innings. Windy City holding on to a 3-1 lead thanks to the 2-run home run from Bryn Spillane a couple innings ago. And right now that's been what's keeping this game where it's at. Evansville searching for a run right now. Doesn't need to be multiple runs. Just need to find a way to get a guy on and bring him home. Otters have only been able to do that once tonight. It was on Tanner Craig's solo home run. Other than that, they've stranded 3 base runners, one of which was on third in that last half inning. First pitch to Andy Armstrong to lead off the inning. He showed bunt, left it alone for ball 1. Armstrong, Rosario, and Biermann due up in the inning. If Armstrong can get himself on base, really sets up Rosario and Biermann afterwards. The 1-0. Armstrong puts one down the right field line, well out of play for a foul ball 1. Don't forget that Evansville stays on the road tomorrow night. They'll face off with the Joliet Slammers just a few miles from here. 1-1 is fouled back in as Armstrong was trying to lay down a bunt, and it went straight into his lead leg, his left leg, and back into foul territory. Luckily, he was still in the box, so it does not count as an out. So things take a second to get a reset. The 1-2, well outside, evens the count up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 for the second, for the shortstop, Andy Armstrong, gets away on the outside edge. 4-3. Full count now for Armstrong. Usually the second baseman, playing short tonight after he had last night off. The 3-2 headed home for Armstrong. Puts one into play right back up the middle, down for a base hit. Just some solid contact from Armstrong right back up the middle, and Evansville has the leadoff man on for the first time tonight. And it sets up some of the most dangerous hitters in this lineup. Edward Jones, leadoff hitter of the game, Brian Rosario due up next, and Zach Biermann right after it. If these two could get something going, the Otters could start to work their way back into this one. Do have our first two final scores of the night. New York defeated Ottawa 11-4. Washington defeated Florence 12-4. A couple of big one-sided games. The first pitch to Brian Rosario. He shows bunt, pulls away, but it's a called strike anyway. They're in the top of the ninth in New Jersey as Sussex County leads Trois-Rivières 3-2. High goes down to their last two outs. Elsewhere in New Jersey, the Jackals lead 8-1 against Empire State. They're in the top of the eighth. An 0-1 to Brian Rosario, and he gets way underneath one out towards right field. And chasing in is Richards for out number one. Because of it, Armstrong will just have to work himself back over to first. So a disappointing at-bat there for Rosario. Obviously wanted to put something in play that could advance the runner, but he got way too far underneath the ball. Zach Biermann at the plate now with 1 out and 1 on. Boy, could the Otters use a beer bomb here. The first pitch home to Zach Biermann. Outside, ball 1. And so far for Biermann, all 3 at-bats have started with that first pitch ball in the well outside corner. Glance over to first for Adam Wheaton as he fires home the 1-0 to Zach Biermann. And it's a called strike as Armstrong was making his way towards second. Took a couple of big jumps before just retreating back to first. So we reset now with a 1-1 count to Zach Biermann. Runner at first and 1 out. The 1-1. Hit down the first base line. Stepping on first is the first baseman, Isaacson. He throws out to second. They tag out Armstrong for an unconventional 3-4 double play. That will end this 5th inning. Otters had a couple runners on, but tough way for this one to go out, and we head to the bottom half of the 5th. The Otters still down by 2. And we are here in the Center Point Energy, center point of the game. Evansville down 3-1. And right now, the highlight, of course, is Tanner Craig's first professional home run, a ball that he cranked to left field. Another congratulations to him. Obviously a big moment, but unfortunately, Windy City answered back a couple innings later with a 2-run home run from Bryn Spillane, and that did the trick to give Windy City a 3-1 lead, one that they're still holding on to. As long as you can keep them at arm's length if you're Evansville. This 2-run deficit does not feel too bad right now, as the Otters have been really good in the middle innings these last couple of nights. 1-0, catches the inside edge, evens the count at 1-1 strike. By the way, Washington's win tonight at Florence is the 999th of Washington's franchise. They will go for number 1,000 tomorrow night at Gateway. And Jarius Richards is going to get hit on the right elbow and will earn himself first base for free. A little bit labored on his way down to first. Just walking down right now. Jake Boone's making his way to the plate. 0 for 2. Still making his way to first is Jarius Richards. Richards doesn't have an official at bat tonight yet. A walk and 2 hit by pitches. Stepping off is O'Reilly as they're checking on Jarius Richards over there at first. So he's a little bit labored as he walks back towards first base. He was over in the foul territory area. Looks like we are ready to go. Nobody out, runner at first with Jake Boone at the plate. This is how the first, third, and fifth have all started. Richards getting on via a free pass of some kind. And Boone heading to the plate. He's recorded an out each of the 2 times prior, though. They'll throw over to first, and back in time is Richards. As you can hear, a couple of dissatisfied fans with the throwovers. But if you're Evansville, you have to. You just can't let those runners be free over there. You got to keep them close. First pitch to Jake Boone. Works high and inside it. Looks like it might have gone off the helmet. But the runner, Jarius Richards, does make his way to second. So I'm guessing that Boone must have gotten himself out of the way in time. So there's a runner at second, nobody out. Jake Boone at the plate. Nearly got hit in the helmet that last pitch. O'Reilly just needs to settle in here. Take a deep breath and get reset. The 1-0 home is off the handle of the bat, popped up right behind home plate. Felix is underneath it, and he brings it in for out number 1. That is a gift for Evansville. So Dan Robinson makes his way to the plate, and it's a similar scenario for him as well. Runner on second, 1 out, just like he's had the last 2 times up. O'Reilly glances out towards second, where Richards is bouncing around out there. First pitch home, outside, ball 1. The 1-0 towards Robinson. There goes the runner to third, and it gets away from Felix for a second. It's another stolen base for Richards, his third of the game. And even if Felix had caught that one right in the middle, there's not really any use throwing down there. These are really quick runners, and you risk overthrowing a base if you throw out. It's not as big a deal when you're throwing to second because, of course, you have Gordon that can chase in and help out a little bit more. You put one down the third baseline, it's a long way to run for Baez, and it potentially ends up in a bullpen, or you just never know down that third base line. So even if that was a good catch from Felix, that was a little closer. I'm glad that there is no throwdown, at least this time. 2-0 is sent down the first base line, but foul for Dan Robinson. Count goes to 2-1. Two balls, one strike for Dan Robinson. Runner at third and one out. Every single inning, Windy City's had a man on third. The 2-1. Put out towards right field. Long run for McNamee. Towards the warning track, and it falls behind him. It's going to be another RBI double for Windy City, and their lead has hit 3. So Richards gets himself to second and then to third on a couple of wild pitch and then a stolen base, and then scores on Dan Robinson's RBI double to right field. And that brings up Bryn Spillane with one out and a runner at second. Spillane's last time up, he had the 2-run home run that helped distance this game for the first time tonight. O'Reilly really taking his time before the first pitch home to Bryn Spillane. Has his sign, glances out to second, and fires the first pitch home. Stays inside for ball 1. For Bryn Spillane, runner at second, one out. And O'Reilly's going to step off and reset. There is a man warming up for Evansville in the right field bullpen. Does kind of look like Zach Smith, but I'll work harder to get you for sure. The 1-0 misses outside for ball 2. It's either Zach Smith or Tyler Spring. A bit hard to tell with the shape that the numbers are on the Otters jerseys. I just know he's a tall, slender body with the long hair, and that's both Zach Smith and Tyler Spring. The 2-0 misses again to the outside edge. Close pitch. Felix looked over towards his dugout, and when I saw that, I looked over there as well, and he had both Andy McCauley and Max Peterson just shrug at him. That's kind of been the way it has been the last two nights. Umpires not giving a lot of leeway on the edges. A 3-0 to Spillane. And it's ball 4. That one looked really good. Felix was incredibly frustrated with it. And out comes Max Peterson to have a talk with his pitcher in the entire infield. And on his way to the mound, he was looking towards the home plate umpire, Chad Ozie. I can't tell if he said anything, but he is frustrated. There's runners at first and second with just one out. No pitching change right now, but the entire infield will come in to have a chat with their pitching coach, Max Peterson. Spillane reaches on the walk. Out comes home plate umpire Chad Ozie to break up the party. Still out there talking is Peterson. It looks like now he is saying a couple things to the home plate umpire. And he's now made the signal down to the bullpen. The day will end for Ryan O'Reilly. We'll let you know for sure who is entering the game right after this. Evansville down 4-1 in this one. And Ryan O'Reilly has been pulled from the game here in the 5th inning. Let you know who's coming in for him right after this. Pitching change has been completed, and Tyler Spring is entering this game for Evansville. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends of Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Spring on the mound, Felix behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Let them know that Evansville Otters public address announcer Zane Clodfelter sent him your way. Final warm-up pitch about to be tossed by Spring. Spring had been on the suspended list for a while as he was tending to some personal matters for a while, had to be away from the team, but was able to return with the squad earlier this week and had his first time back on the mound in game 1 of this series. He went 1 full inning, gave up no runs, no hits, no walks, struck out 1 in his 1 inning of work. So now he will hop on the mound with a runner at first and second with just 1 out here in the 5th inning. So Peyton Isaacson will be the first man to face Spring. Isaacson has 2 ground outs, 1 a great play from Craig at third, the next a ground out to the second baseman. The first pitch home to Peyton Isaacson, on the way now. And it bounces in for ball 1, gets past Felix, and both runners are going to advance on the very first pitch from Spring. Surely going to be called a wild pitch, which the Otters have seen way too many of tonight. Resetting is Spring and the Otters. Riviere, by the way, scores a run in the top of the 9th and has forced the bottom half of the 9th, 3-3 at Sussex County between the Eagles and Miners. The 1-0 to Isaacson. Inside, make it ball 2. Two balls, no strikes for the first baseman, Isaacson. Otters are playing in now to try to get the runner at home. The 2-0 towards Isaacson is sent high and foul behind home plate. We'll get out of here. The Empire State Grays are currently down to their last 2 outs at the top of the 9th at New Jersey. It's 8-1 in favor of the Jackals right now. And Quebec has opened their game up against Tri-City. It's 11-5 in the top of the 9th inning. Tri-City down to their last outs And as I say that, it refreshes, and it's the final out. Quebec gets an 11-5 win and wins the series despite dropping the middle game. Quebec trying to extend their lead in the East. A 2-1 to Isaacson, put out towards right field. Long run for McNamee towards the warning track. He makes the catch, but both runners are going to advance. It'll be a sacrifice fly for Windy City, and they score another run. Spillane goes to third. Robinson comes home. And with it, the lead hits 4. So that'll bring up Peyton Robertson, who's reached both times so far with free passes, one of which being a walk, one of which being a hit by pitch. First pitch home from Tyler Spring. Taken for a called strike at the elbows. Oh and 1 the count. As the pitch is fired home from Tyler Spring. And it catches the low edge of the zone. Now 0-2 count towards Robinson. Though the Otters cannot drop out of second place tonight, they could be tied with a loss, as they and Schaumburg would both be 8.5 games back now that Washington has won tonight. It would be the furthest out of first place the Otters have been all year. The 0-2 sent high and foul to the right side will get out of play. One other score to update you on in the top of the 7th inning in Sauget. Lake Erie Crushers holding on to a 3-1 lead at Gateway there, top of the 7th. That's been a series so far that has been owned by the home run ball. The 0-2 to Peyton Robertson, fired home from Spring. And it's fouled right back into the netting behind home plate yet again. And the count stays at 0-2. Oh, 0-2 pitch. Getting ready to head home from Tyler Spring. On the way to Robinson. Low, ball 1. One ball, 2 strikes. And it's fouled into the mask of Felix. It'll take a second to reset. A 1-2 for Peyton Robertson. Swinging, strike 3. And Tyler Spring is going to get himself a German American Bank strikeout to help get out of the inning. One more run does score on the sac fly RBI. And it is now 5-1 in favor of Windy City. We head to the 6th right after this. Otters with some work to do. Well, we head to the 6th inning, and Evansville now having to do some more work as they now trail by 4 after giving up 2 more runs there in that 5th inning. Obviously not at the place the Otters want to be right now. The thing that hurts the most, they've given up 5 runs on 4 hits. A lot of free passes handed out. First pitch home to J.R. Davis on the way, and it's hit hard towards the third baseman. Boone, who goes falling after it, the throw to first is in time for out number 1. That is a wonderful play from Windy City. Made that look quite easy. So now the left fielder Jeffrey Baez makes his way to the plate. 2 outs, nobody on. It's his first time at the plate today without a runner on. Baez ready for his first pitch. It's on the way, and he takes it for a called strike. Almost right down the middle, maybe a bit high in the zone, but still a good-looking pitch. There is a man warming up for Windy City down there. As the 0-1 for Baez is taken for a called strike on the outside edge. It's Ryan Miller warming up right now. Windy City down there in their left field bullpen. The 0-2, and Baez really stretches the hands out for a swinging strike 3. Chase is out there for the 6th strikeout of the day for Adam Wheaton. So Elijah McNamee making his way to the plate, 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout so far. Still looking to get going in this game. First pitch to McNamee. Hit on the ground to the left side. Boone will go over towards his left, make the grab, and throw to first for out number 3. A very quick half inning for Evansville's offense. They go 3 up, 3 down. To the bottom half of the 6th we go. Otters trail by 4. Tyler Spring returning to the mound for his 2nd inning of work after he finished off that 5th for the Otters. Trying to keep this game where it's at, a 4-run advantage for Windy City. Otters obviously in a position right now that is frustrating. No 2 ways about it. They have not been able to get any offense manufactured really since the 6th inning of last night. And even when they did last night, the 3 separate innings, They were all solo runs. They were just bringing in little by little. First pitch in is swung on and fouled off by the leadoff man, Bryn Martinez, who's 1 for 2 in the game. He had one play robbed from him as Craig made a nice backhanded grab over there at third his last time up. The 0-1 for Bryn Martinez. Misses outside, so the count evens up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pint glass giveaway tonight at the Windy City game. Sponsored by Goose Island, so every fan as they came in tonight got one of those. As the pitch is inside for ball 2. It's also their Windy City night, their White Castle night, which happens every Thursday here at Windy City, where they wear these White Castle slider jerseys that say Windy City on them in the White Castle font. They also have post-game wrestling, professional wrestling out on the concourse. As I was getting set up and doing my pregame walk around the stadium today, they had their wrestling ring, I guess is what you call it, set up right there on the concourse down there. And as soon as the game ends, they have post-game wrestling down there. A 3-1 to Bryn Martinez. It's lifted high, foul, and out of play to the third base side. And it keep carrying and eventually out of the stadium. So things will reset for a second as we prepare for the 3-2 pitch. Spring fires home, and it's high, ball 4. A leadoff walk, and for the 5th time in 6 innings, the leadoff man is on for Windy City. The man who was warming up for Windy City, which was Ryan Miller, has since sat down there in the left field bullpen. Meanwhile, for Evansville, their bullpen is inactive as well. Before the first pitch to Neves, we have a throw over to first, where Bryn Martinez is back in time. He got a stolen base his last time up. He snagged second. Pro debut, by the way, for Johnny Neves. His first pitch of this at-bat. And the runner's going towards second. The throw out is high and will not be there in time. That's another stolen base tonight for Windy City. They have grabbed him left and right. All together now, we're looking at a night for Windy City where they already have 6 stolen bases, and we've still got a third of this game to go. One 0 count for Jonathan Neves, runner at second and nobody out. 1-0 is outside for ball 2. One of the things the Otters do best are turn double plays, and they have not been able to do that because every time a runner gets on, he gets himself to second with a wild pitch or a stolen base tonight. We do have another game that's gone final. New Jersey defeats Empire State 8-1, earning the series sweep. 2-0 is lifted foul right over the top of my broadcast booth here. The count drops to 2-1 into the 10th inning. And international tiebreaker rules are Trois-Rivières and Sussex County. Trois-Rivières about to bring in a run. We've got runners on the corners and 1 out in the top of the 10th. I'll try to keep you updated with how things are going there. The 2-1 on its way home to Jonathan Neves. And again, fouled right over the top of me here. Back-to-back hits just like that. And, of course, like I mentioned earlier, a final with Quebec getting an 11-5 win against Tri-City. So just 3 games left here in the evening in the Frontier League. We've got Charlevoix and Sussex County in extras, Lake Erie and Gateway in the bottom of the 7th, and then our game, which has a 2-2 pitch to Neves. The runner is going towards third. The throw down is way over the top of Craig and into left field. Coming home is Martinez, and he will score on the error by Felix. And it was ball 3. Wasn't even a strikeout there. So it was ball 3 and then a overthrow of Craig at third. And it's another run scored for Windy City. Make it 6-1 now. Otters are getting to a place now where they're starting to dig themselves too big a hole. Ball fouled off yet again, and the count will remain at 3-2 for Neves. If it stays just like this, Evansville will have dropped the series and will mean that the only series win they have since the series at Schaumburg or against Schaumburg back in early July, they've only won 1 series since then. That has been the big kicker for Evansville. A 3-2 to Neves. Outside, ball 4. So the lead is now 6-1 in favor of Windy City, with Cole Kaler, 9-0 making his way to the plate. Oh, 2 to the second baseman. Or sorry, they just refreshed it. First pitch to Kaler. Outside, ball 1. Another high and away pitch. Nobody warming up for the Otters right now. Defense is set up in deeper double play positioning. So take double play positioning and back it up about 5 feet. The swinging strike 1 has evened the count up at 1 ball, 1 strike for Cole Kaler. Evansville heads over to Joliet after this for a 3-game set over there. Not too far from where we're at, actually. As a high pitch results in ball 2. In fact, the distance from here at Ozinga Field over to Dooley Medical Group Field, which is where the games will take place for the series against Joliet, it is a 30-minute drive directly across on I-80, and there you are at Dooley Medical Group Field. The throw out towards second on the stolen base is going to be late, and it will be another stolen base for Windy City. This one for Johnny Neves, the first of his professional career. And this his pro debut. So we can now up it to 8 stolen bases on the day. 3 for Richards, 3 for Martinez, and now 1 for Neves and 1 for Robertson. The 3-1 towards Kaler. Lifted high, foul, and will get out of play behind home plate. And our count goes to full. Three-2 the count to Cole Kaler. Pitch heads home, and it misses for ball 4. And there's now runners at first and second. 3 straight walks to start this inning for Tyler Spring. And because of it, Jake Polancic now starting to warm up out there in the right field bullpen.
Right fielder number 32, Felix Richard.
So a meeting up there on the mound between Armstrong, Felix, and Spring just to reset things. And now Max Peterson will make a walk out there, and he's going to make a pitching change. So today is going to end for Tyler Spring. Certainly not the way he wanted it to go. We'll let you know who's coming in for him right after this. Evansville down by 5. Jake Polancic will enter the game for the Otters out of the right field bullpen. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Polancic on the mound, Felix behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Polancic taking his time to get set up on the bump. There's 2 men on, nobody out here in the bottom half of the 6th. First pitch home. This is outside, ball 1 to the leadoff man, Jarius Richards. Richards on the day has reached base all 3 times, but none of them are official at-bats. 1 walk and 2 hit by pitches. Both hit by pitches. He got to first on the hit by pitch, obviously. Got to second on a wild pitch, to third on a stolen base, and then came home. A 1-0 on the way. Catches the zone on the inside edge, and our count is evened up at 1 ball, 1 strike. A little bit of a wait here before the 1-1 pitch from Polancic. Has nodded towards home, and now the pitch on the way. Misses on the outside edge. We are into the bottom of the 10th inning at Sussex County, by the way. Trial Riviere scored 2 runs in the top of the 10th. So the pressure is on the Miners now. Also in the bottom of the 7th inning, Lake Erie's now out to a 5-1 advantage at Gateway. The 2-1 makes its way home towards Jarius Richards for a called strike 2. The count's evened up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. As always, love to know where you're listening from tonight, as the Otters are here in Crestwood, Illinois at Ozinga Field, home of the Windy City Thunderbolts. 2-2 the count with 2 on and nobody out so far here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The pitch heads home to Jarius Richards. Swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Felix for a German American Bank strikeout. The first one of the day for Jake Polancic. I'll tell you what, that has been what's been most fascinating about Polancic's last few opportunities these last few weeks, as Polancic has really found the strike zone well. In the opening game of this set, he went 1 1/3 innings, walked 1, but struck out 2. In the final game against Gateway, he went 2 1/3 innings, striking out 5. And in the first game of Gateway, he got the win, going 1 2/3 innings, 4 strikeouts for him. First pitch to Boone, and he zooms it down the left field line, but foul. That was a hard hit ball, but luckily for the Otters, it fell on the wrong side out there. No balls, 1 strike for Jake Boone. There's runners at first and second and 1 out. Evansville trailing by 5. Pitch comes home to Boone. It's lifted high and foul to the right side. I think it's going to get out of play. And it will. It's up in the 3rd row over there. Biermann definitely gave it a run, but it just kept carrying and carrying. By the way, if you missed it a little bit ago and want to go catch the first professional home run for Tanner Craig, you can go see it on the Evansville Otters Twitter page. Our former Director of Communications, Preston Leinenbach, went ahead and cut it for us and got it up there on Twitter, so go check it out. Big home run there for Craig. Unfortunately, the Otters have allowed 6 unanswered since then. The 0-2 stays low. That's ball 1 for Jake Boone. Jake Polancic resetting up on the bump, looking in towards his catcher Felix. Has his sign and he's ready for the 1-2 pitch to Jake Boone. 1 out, 2 on. Pitch comes home, lifted high and mid-deep to right field. Davis is the one stepping back to make the catch, and he will for out number 2. It's not deep enough to advance either runner. Just a pop out there to the second baseman. Dan Robinson now at the plate. He had an RBI double his last time up. Came around to score on Isaacson's sacrifice fly. First pitch to Dan Robinson. Comes home. Outside, ball 1. One of the count now for Robinson. And Polancic's going to have the signs redone by Felix as he asked for a reset. Polancic gets set now quickly. The 1-0 to Dan Robinson, the left fielder. He Whiffs another one foul off to the left side. It's going to get out of play and even his count up at 1-1. A 1-1 for the left fielder Robinson. Misses on the outside edge. Defense is playing with a bit of a shift to the right side, which has now enabled a pretty big gap between short and third. The 2-1 to Dan Robinson. Is sent foul into the netting over the Windy City dugout on the left side, and evens the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Try again now on the 2-2 for Dan Robinson. Atlantic fires home, and it's just barely fouled off behind home plate, and the count will remain at 2-2. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. The T-Bolts lead out to 5 now. A 2-2. Swinging strike 3 and a German-American bank strikeout, the second of the inning. Gets Polancic out of this one, but a run does score while Spring's still on the mound and extends the lead to 5 now for Windy City. Top of the 7th inning, and as we head to the back third of this one, I want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network is presented by Budweiser, the king of beers. First pitch to Miles Gordon is outside ball 1. He showed bunt, but pulled away as the ball stayed well outside. Well, it would take 2 runs an inning for the Otters to get themselves on top of this one, and they'd have to pitch some shutout innings on the other side. Have to get it going quick, and that's not going to do it. A bouncing ground ball to the right side is an easy play for the second baseman, Kaler, who will fire to first for out number 1. So we advance to the third baseman, Tanner Craig, who is responsible for the only Evansville run thus far. He had a home run in the second, a strikeout in the fourth. And they say he did go around on that first pitch for a swinging strike 1. The 0-1 to Craig. Stays a bit high and on the outside. For ball 1 that evens our count up. Another pitch that gets Craig to go just a little bit, and it's strike 2 now. And it's a swinging strike 3, the second strikeout of the day for Tanner Craig, and that's 2 outs here in the half inning. Oh, that's good for 7 strikeouts from Adam Wheaton on the day. He has been very good. So with nobody on and 2 out, Justin Felix making his way to the plate. He is 0 for 1 today with a hit by pitch and a strikeout. The first pitch home to him stays low and inside for ball 1. One ball, no strikes, as the pitch comes home to Justin Felix. Hit hard towards the third baseman, Boone, who plays it on 2 hops. The long throw to first in time, and it's another very quick 3 up, 3 down inning. Otters have been put down in order the last 8 of them. And we head to the 7th inning stretch here. Time to get up and stretch wherever you're listening from. Otters still looking for some runs in this one. Well, we've stretched here in Crestwood, Illinois at Ozinga Field. Otters still searching for anything offensively. Tanner Craig's home run got the game started, but the last 6 runs have all been scored by Windy City. We head to the bottom half of the 7th with Spillane, Isaacson, and Robertson 2 up. Isaacson, who's the middle batter, is the only one other than Jake Boone, who has failed to reach base tonight for Windy City. First pitch home. Misses for ball one on the low inside corner. A 1-0 makes its way home now to Bryn Spillane. And it finds the zone to even up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. 1-1 counts on the board for Bryn Spillane. He's walked, grounded into a fielder's choice, and hit a 2-run home run so far in this game. The 1-1. Swinging, strike 2. Has him back in the count. Jake Polancic trying to help guide the Otters in this one. The 1-2 coming home from Polancic. Misses on the inside edge, but not by much. And the Otters coaching staff shouting towards home, asking where that one missed. They thought it looked good on the inside edge. I agree with him. That was a good pitch. Real close there on the inside edge. The 2-2. Swinging strike 3. It's foul tipped into the glove of Felix for a German-American Bank strikeout, the 3rd of the game already for Jake Polancic. Polancic has faced now 4 batters, and 3 of them have sat down with the K next to their name. So Peyton Isaacson, the first baseman, making his way to the plate now. 1 out, nobody on. Polancic has himself ready to go. The pitch comes home. Lifted high towards the foul territory on the third base side. And it's Armstrong who makes the long run and eventually brings it in for out number 2. Almost overran it. He's able to bring it in. There's 2 down to the 7th. So with 2 outs and nobody on, Peyton Robertson making his way to the plate. A hit by pitch, a walk, and a strikeout so far to his name. Pitch comes home for him, and it's lifted high, foul to the right side. Biermann will run after it, but it's going to end up on the concourse up there. Polancic is trying to deliver the Otters their first 3 up, 3 down defensive inning all night long. Boy, would that be a breath of fresh air. An 0-1. Lifted high again, foul behind home plate, but it's going to get himself out of play. A little bit of a wait now as we prepare for the 0-2 with 2 outs. Nobody on here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Polancic trying to give Evansville their first 3 up, 3 down defensive inning of the night. An 0-2. Swinging strike 3. Make it 4 German-American Bank strikeouts for Jake Polancic. And with it, the 7th inning ends. The Otters still have work to do. Top of the 8th coming at you next. Armstrong, Rosario, and Biermann due up for the Otters. We're in the top of the 8th inning now. Armstrong set to kick off things for the Otters. First pitch home, stays low for ball 1. And it looks like returning for an 8th inning is Adam Wheaton. He's only at 85 pitches right now. 1-0 put foul down the right field side for Armstrong, and his count evens up at 1-1. The 1-1 put hard at the second baseman. He plays it right in between the legs and just barely able to keep hold of it. Throws over to first in time for out number 1. 4-3 officially on the put out there. So Brian Rosario, the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, back up to the plate. He's 0 for 3 on the day, and this seems like it would likely be his last opportunity at the plate. The first pitch home to Rosario. Stays on the inside edge for a called strike 1. A little bit of a gap right in the middle. If Rosario can drive it back up where it came from. The pitch outside evens the count up at 1 ball, 1 strike. The 1-1 makes its way home towards Rosario. Stays outside, make it ball 2. Two-1 to the leadoff man, Rosario. Hit hard to the right side, backhanded by the first baseman, and then tossed to the pitcher, Whedon, for out number 2. Just a nice play there from the T-Bolts. 2 down, nobody on. Zach Biermann returning to the plate. He's 1 for 3 on the day. His last time up, he grounded into an unconventional double play. Went right at the first baseman, who just stepped on first, and then threw to the shortstop, who tagged Armstrong out on his way to second. So a strange 3-6 GIDP. First pitch home to Biermann, and it's hit right back up the middle. Through for a base hit. A 2-out single for Biermann, his second hit of the game. Augie Gallardo is starting to warm up for Evansville in the right field bullpen. J.R. Davis making his way to the plate now. Has not registered a hit, but he reached on a fielder's choice and on a walk so far. Davis waiting on his first pitch. Biermann has a small lead at first. First pitch comes home for ball 1, low and away. Otters have 1 run on 5 hits and 1 error. Meanwhile, Windy City has 6 runs on just 4 hits and no errors. The 1-0. But right back up the middle, but at the second baseman, who will toss to the shortstop and step on second for the 1 out they need. Otters once again leave a man stranded here. And we head to the bottom half of the 8th. Sliders holding on to a lead here. go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Otters are going to head to the bullpen once more. Augie Gallardo will get the nod. This call bullpens presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. It's Gallardo on the mound and Felix behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Gallardo's going to face Brent Martinez, Johnny Neves, and Cole Kaler here in the bottom of the 8th, which, as of right now, is going to be the last time we see Windy City bat in this game. First pitch home is sent fouling back into the netting for strike one. Gallardo sets up way on that front side of the rubber as the righty, so that it makes him a little bit more dangerous as he comes around, because you don't really get to pick up the pitch until it is right there. The 1-1 to Martinez. Swinging strike, and the bat goes flying towards the Otters dugout. Second straight night we've seen that. And the Otters coaching staff goes running out of the bullpen, or out of the dugout, I'm sorry, as they landed basically right where both Max Peterson and Eddie McCauley were standing. Second straight night, it's ended up right there on top of the Otters dugout. That's why they extended the netting, by the way, in all leagues of baseball, just to keep fans safe from scenarios like that. The 1-2 to Martinez. Called strike three. Big punch out there from home plate umpire Chad Ozzie. First German-American Bank strikeout from Augie Gallardo. And we started off the game with not a ton of strikeouts on either side. Otters have now put together 8. And all in total, we've got 15 in the game. So with 1 out, nobody on, the kid making his professional debut tonight, Johnny Neves, the catcher, heads to the plate. He's 1 for 2, an RBI double in his first at-bat prior to a flyout and a walk. Takes a called strike to kick off this at-bat. Ball sent fouled back over the top. A swinging strike, or sorry, a check swing. It was close to a swinging strike, but Neves was able to hold himself up. They did check down with the umpire, but it's 1-2 now. The 1-2. This is right at the elbows, maybe just ahead or just above it. And the count evens up on 2-2. Or Neves. One out, the 2-2. Missed on the outside edge now. Make it a full count. Otters head just a few miles away to Joliet for the rest of the weekend. First pitch tomorrow night, 6:35 from Dooley Medical Group Field. 3-2, swung on and missed, and Augie Gallardo has back-to-back German-American Bank strikeouts to kick off this 8th inning. That brings up the 9-hole hitter, second baseman Cole Kaler. Bases are empty, 2 outs. Augie Gallardo trying to slam the door in the 8th and set up the Otters' 9th, which would need 5 runs to keep the game going. Check in and see if we've got any more finals from around the league. And indeed we do. Trois Riviere outlasts Sussex County, gets a 5-4 win in 10 innings. Called strike on the outside edge starts off the count for Cole Kaler. And in the top of the 9th right now, Lake Erie barely holding on to a 5-4 lead at Gateway. The Grizzlies have come storming back. Gateway scored 3 in the bottom of the 7th to bring themselves within 2 within 1. The 0-1 to Kaler. Called strike 2, right down the middle. Gallardo didn't mess around with that one. The 0-2, well inside, ball 1. So we have just passed over to the 10 o'clock hour here in the suburbs of Chicago. A 1-2 count to Kaler. Called strike 3 on the outside edge. And Augie Gallardo strikes out the side here in the 8th. We go to the 9th inning right after this. Evansville trails by 5 and has to do it right now. Making his way to the plate is Jeffrey Baez, the leadoff man here in the 9th. And remaining on the mound for another inning of work is Adam Wheaton. Going for his first complete game of his professional career. First pitch to Baez, he zooms it out towards center. Robertson will go over and make the catch for out number 1. Hard hit ball by Baez, but just to the wrong place. So McNamee making his way to the plate now. A little bit of a wait here before the first pitch to McNamee, and now it's on the way. It's outside for ball 1. The 1-0 for McNamee. Called strike. That one almost right down the middle. So big hit, Mack will reset. Prior to the 1-1. Pitch is on the way. Push down the right field line, but foul will end up in the upper concourse. So quickly a 1-2 count for the right fielder Elijah McNamee, who's looking for his first base hit in the game. Otters have just 1 run on 5 hits. Meanwhile, Windy City has 6 runs on 4 hits. The 1-2, well outside. That evens our count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Defense playing straight up all the way around for Elijah McNamee. As the 2-2 comes home, it's sent foul into the netting. And we will continue at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ball stays outside on the 1-2, and McNamee sees his count evened up. So we're even at 2-2 with 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 9th inning. Otters down to their last couple outs. The 2-2 outside, make it ball 3. We've got a full count. So McNamee has given an extra chance. That was a close play over there on the outside edge. As the 3-2 comes home. Outside yet again, it's a full count walk for McNamee. So that will bring Miles Gordon to the plate. He has a double back in the 4th inning. That extended his hitting streak to 19 games. A little bit of a wait for Gordon as the first pitch comes home for a called strike on the outside edge. And as it's 10:07, we've officially hit the 3-hour mark in this one. Right at it right now. Moving a little quicker than last night. The 0-1 for Miles Gordon. Low and inside, evens his count up. A ball and a strike. The 1-1. Swinging, strike 2. Really had Miles Gordon fooled on that one. He was just out in front of it. One ball, 2 strikes for the center fielder, Miles Gordon. The 1-2 inside, evens the count at 2-2. Evansville continues the season tomorrow night at Joliet. You can catch the game right here on the Otters Digital Network, 6:35 first pitch. We'll be live shortly before for the pregame show. Gordon fouls one away and keeps himself alive on the 2-2. So we wait for the 2-2 pitch to Miles Gordon. And finally, Wheaton kicks and delivers. Stays low and inside, make the count full. Cubs did get the win tonight in the Field of Dreams game over the Cincinnati Reds. Always cool to see that Field of Dreams game kind of come to fruition. 3-2 fouled off to the left side. So a second is taken to reset after the foul ball. Count remains full for Miles Gordon, runner at first, and just one out. A 3-2 full count for Gordon. Outside ball four, and back-to-back men have reached on walks for the Otters here in the ninth. And time is called as we're going to go have a quick talk with the pitcher, Adam Wheaton. And are they going to make a pitching change? They are. Adam Wheaton finishes just 2 outs shy of his first complete game, but he is in line to earn his first professional win. He walks up with the head held high, because that's a mighty good performance from him. 1 out and 2 on. A new pitcher coming on for Windy City. We'll let you know who it is right after this on the Otters Digital Network. Well, we continue along here in the top of the ninth inning. Otters have 2 men on as a new pitcher enters the game for Windy City. It's going to be Lane Schnitz-Paxton, the closer, in to finish this one off. Adam Wheaton was oh so close to grabbing himself a complete game, but the Windy City management staff is not going to risk losing this game, as the first pitch to Tanner Craig is zoomed foul to the left side. Craig are responsible for the only run of the game thus far, a solo home run back in the second. He struck out twice since then. There's 2 men on and 1 man out here so far in the ninth inning for Evansville. They trail by 5. The 0-1 for Craig. Sent towards the shortstop Martinez. He'll go to second for 1. To first. In time. And a double play is going to end this ball game. That's all Schnitz-Paxton had to do, as the ThunderBolts are going to get themselves a 6-1 win and win this series against Evansville, after Evansville really dominated game 1 of the series. Ever since the 3rd inning of yesterday's game, it's been all Windy City, and they continued that tonight. Evansville got the first run of the game on a solo home run from Tanner Craig, but since then it has been all Windy City all the way. They scored their 6 runs unanswered, highlighted by a 2-run home run from Brent Spillane that not only gave Windy City their lead, but it gave them all the momentum in this contest, and they did not look back. 4-6-3 double play is what ended this one, as Tanner Craig struggled after that home run earlier in the game. Another congratulations to him for hitting his first professional home run, as that one's got to feel good for him. For the Otters, though, because of the loss, it drops them down another spot in the standings, as they're now 8 games back of the Washington Wild Things. Schaumburg sits at 8.5 games back. So there is still a tiny bit of breathing room for Evansville, but certainly not enough. Evansville's schedule doesn't get any easier. They've got to go to Joliet for 3 this weekend. So keep an eye on how those things go. We'll have first pitch available for you at 6:35 tomorrow night. A couple other series to keep an eye on this weekend will be Washington at Gateway and Schaumburg coming here to Windy City. It's been a pleasure joining you here from Crestwood, Illinois at Ozinga Field these last few nights. I want to say a thank you from the entire Evansville Otters organization for spending your nights with us. A lot of things you can do on your weekday nights. So the fact that you chose the Otters means a lot to us. For all of us here at the Evansville Otters, I'm Matthew Will saying so long from Ozinga Field in Crestwood, where Windy City gets a 6-1 win and wins the series. Otters looking for some rebound tomorrow night at Joliet. First pitch, 6:35. I'll talk to you then from Dooley Medical Group Field. So long. Talk to you tomorrow.